Y'all, we're making deep dish pizza. Come on. Welcome to Highfalutin Low Carb, the random web series where we find and test the best low carb recipes this crazy internet has to offer. Today, we're tackling deep dish pizza. Stay tuned. All right, guys, no, your eyes do not deceive you. You are here for another low-carb pizza battle. If you've been watching my channel for a little bit, you know that my last 3 videos were low-carb pizza crust battles, and this is the final and 4th one, and this time we're concentrating on deep dish pizzas. So I'm tackling 2 of the most popular ones that you guys requested. The first recipe we're doing is deep dish pizza meat pie, and this is by thewolfepit.com. And then the second recipe is the one you guys blew me up with, and that is Keto Deep Dish Pizza by KetoFocus.com. So we're excited to try both of these. So before we begin, I need to give a huge thank you to Green Chef for sponsoring this video. Green Chef is a USDA certified organic company that makes eating well easy and affordable with meal plans to fit every kind of lifestyle. Now, for me, I choose their keto meal plan, but they also have delicious dishes for a variety of lifestyles, including vegan, vegetarian, paleo, and again, keto for us folks. What's nice is on a busy weekday, when your eyes start to wander over to the takeout menus, it's nice to have a fridge full of delicious meals that are ready to go. Now, the recipes are usually quick and easy, and there's a step-by-step instruction guide. You get a card with chef tips and photos to sort of guide you along the way. And what's nice is you really learn how to combine flavors and textures that you probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise, that you can then take and use in other dishes that aren't from Green Chef. It really sort of expands your repertoire of recipes. Now, this is the shrimp Caesar salads. This is a very popular choice that we make because it is so good. I would have never thought about putting butternut squash and hazelnuts with shrimp and kale, but it is so delicious. We love it. Now, right now, Green Chef is offering you guys a fantastic deal. It's going to be here on the screen. Use the link on the screen and in the video description below. You can get $90 off across your first 4 boxes plus free shipping on your first box. So go to greenchef.us/90highfalutin and use code 90highfalutin to get that $90 off across your first 4 boxes and free shipping on that first box. Guys, this is a fantastic way to test and try out Green Chef. It has made eating well easier for me, and I can vouch for how delicious their meal plans are. So thank you, Green Chef, for sponsoring this video. It's sponsorships like yours that keeps channels like mine on the air, and for that, I'm truly appreciative. Thank you for the delicious meals and the sponsorship. All right, let's make some pizza. All right, guys, so let's get started on our first recipe. Again, this is the deep dish pizza meat pie, and this is by thewolfepit.com. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. My point here is that I never give exact measurements for recipes. These are not my recipes. I'm just here to test them and tell you what I think. So I'm asking you to go to the links down here on the screen and in the video description below to check out these recipe developers and find out exact amounts for all of this. So go to thewolfepit.com and look for his deep dish meat pie. All right, so let's get started. This is a lot of meat, okay? So we're gonna start with some spicy Italian sausage. Make sure you buy something that's sugar-free. Be sure to check those labels. And we're gonna add to that some ground round. You want it to be fairly lean so that you don't have a lot of grease runoff. So we're just gonna, with impeccably clean hands, we're just gonna get after this and combine the sausage and the beef into one mixture. So let's do that now. Okay, so we've got our meat combined about as well as we're gonna get it. And then while I still have meaty hands, let's go ahead and line our pan. Now this is supposed to all fit into a 9-inch pie pan or pie plate. You see how much is on here, and I feel like some of his comments were like, there's no way you're gonna get all this into a 9-inch pie pan, but he did, so I'm gonna try it. So what we're gonna do is use our bacon to line the sides. I don't know if you can see this above me overhead here, to line the sides of our pie pan. And he said to double layer it. So kind of overlapping it. And I try to follow these recipes exactly as written, because that's really the only fair way to test a recipe, is to follow it exactly as written. And he cooked his on a grill, a pellet grill style grill. There's about a foot of snow outside, and it is negative degrees here. So we won't be grilling today, but he did give instructions that this works in a 350 degree oven. So that's what we're gonna do. We've got our pan layered with our bacon, and here's where we're gonna take the majority of this meat and put this in the bottom. Now, this is I don't know how in the world he got all this to fit in this pan, but we're gonna try it, y'all, because he's gonna come up the sides with this too. This is sort of like the Chicago style sausage crusts. My friend Misty, At Home with Misty, if you've not seen her channel, I'm going to put a link up here on the screen. Be sure to check it out. She's precious. I love her to death. She ordered recently and showed some pictures online of the Lou Malnati's, I believe that's the name of it, I might have that wrong, Lou Malnati's sausage crust pizza. He has a keto crust pizza. They fly it in on dry ice from Chicago, and it looked delicious. So this looks like a kind of a take on that. So I'm just going to continue to do this and try to get this up the pan as you see here. Okay, so I'm cleaned up. As you can see here, that is a lot of meat in this pan. There is a small divot that I would say is probably maybe 2.5 to 3 inches deep at its most. So we've got to get a lot of this stuff into there. So he says to put your mozzarella cheese in the pan. Again, if you want to know exactly how much, use the link down below. And this goes, oops, I have made a mess, Wesley. I'm gonna push it down because we got more to get in here, folks. Okay. He sprinkles a little Italian seasoning, just dried Italian seasoning over this, and a little garlic powder. Oops, it helps if it's open. Okay, here's where we're going to add all our toppings, and I'm going to follow his directions exactly. This is pepperoni, because there's apparently not enough meat with 2 pounds of meat, ground meat, and bacon. Pepperoni is on there, and now he does a little bit of mushroom, white onion, and bell pepper. And I'm going to tell you now, his instructions say a 1/2 cup of each. Ain't no way we're getting a 1/2 cup of each of these in this recipe. In the pan, it's not going to fit. I might be interested in trying this in like a 12-inch cast iron skillet to see how it comes out. It won't be as thick, but and listen at me, I'm already trying to change the recipe before I've even tried it. It's probably delicious. I know a lot of you recommended it, so. A few onions. He said he likes onions on his pizza, and I do too. And then he also adds some chopped mushrooms. And those are going to put out a fair amount of water, I would imagine. Now, whew, we're getting full, y'all. All right, I'm going to try to poke those down in there, because now we've got to add the sauce to this, and there really is nowhere to put the sauce, but it's probably going to sink in. Hold on, let me wash my hands. All right, now for our sauce, he also recommends what I recommend. I think a lot of people do. It's the Rayo's pizza sauce. Seems to have the lowest carbs and the lowest sugar. Now this is a 13-ounce jar, and I know I don't usually give ingredient amounts, but he says this whole jar has got to go on here. I don't know where it's going to go, but there you have it. So he literally just pours this on top. I'm just going to do it. I mean, I might want to put some tinfoil underneath this when you bake it, because it's going to go somewhere. This has got to go somewhere. Now, granted, the meat is going to shrink up, and we're going to, about halfway through cooking, you pour off a lot of this grease. So, you know, we're gonna make a little room in the pan, but good gravy, this is a lot of sauce. But I'm telling you what, it smells good over here right now. He tops this with a little bit of finely grated Pecorino Romano cheese. And then this is gonna cook for a while. This cooks for an hour. Then you drain it, and then it cooks for 30 to 40 more minutes after you've drained it. So his written recipe from the wolfepit.com does not say, it says to bake this. It doesn't say to chill it. His video says to put this in the fridge for an hour. I feel like I need to do that because maybe that's an important part of this and holding it together. So I'm gonna chill this for an hour. Then it's going in an oven, 350 degrees for an hour. I'm gonna drain off as much grease as I safely can without messing the pie up. Let it cook for another half hour to 40 minutes, and it's gonna come out and sit for about 15 minutes before we test it. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna clean up, meet you right back here, and we'll get recipe number 2 started. All right, see you in just a bit. All right, guys, so let's get started on our second recipe. This is the Keto Deep Dish Pizza by KetoFocus.com. Again, be sure to use the links here on the screen and in the video description below to follow along with this recipe. Now, our other pizza is still in the oven. It is going to take about an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 45 minutes. So if you hear the alarm go off, that's what's going on. But this is a fathead-based deep dish crust with lupin flour. This is going to be made in she says either a 6.5 or an 8-inch skillet. This is an 8-inch skillet, and we're going to start by just a little bit of spray on the inside of this. This is a new skillet for me because my other 8-inch skillet is in storage. So let's hope that this is seasoned well at the factory. And now I'm going to add the dry ingredients to a food processor before we melt our mozzarella cheese. So this is going to be lupin flour, almond flour, and normally you guys know that I would sift this, but it's going in a food processor and it's not going, no little balls are going to survive. Okay, and this is baking powder and a little bit of salt. So let's just give that a little pulse or two just to combine it well before we put our liquid ingredients. Now we want to work pretty quickly here. I'm just going to crack the egg. I'm not going to add it to our dough yet. I'm going to wait until our melted cheese comes in so that we can build our dough in the get out of the way, in the food processor. So this is gonna go in, the mozzarella cheese is gonna go in the microwave for about 60 seconds, stir it up, 60 more seconds. You just wanna make sure this is melted. So I'll be right back. Okay, while this is very liquidy, let's go ahead and put it in our food processor along with the egg. 1 egg. And then we're just gonna pulse this until a dough forms and pulls together. All right, so let's do that now. Okay, so we've got a rough ball of dough here, and let's just turn this out. And I used the plastic dough blade instead of a cutting blade. Okay, so she said if it's not fully combined, you can sort of knead it on the board a little bit, which I'm going to do just for good measure. And then from here we need to just work this into our skillet, flat on the bottom and then up the sides. So it might be best to pull it out as best you can. There's our crust. We've got a little bit of remaining mozzarella cheese that we didn't put in the dough, and we're going to put about half of it down on our dough and save the other half for the top. And then some pepperonis. These are, I like to use uncured pepperoni. And she said to use 12. She literally said use 12, so there's 12. The rest of the cheese on top of that pepperoni. And then about 1/3 cup of sauce, she said. And I'm just going to use the back of a spoon to spread this out. The sauce is where the carbs come from, so that's why we're being sparing. Okay. So our skillet's gonna go in the oven. This is gonna go in for about 20 to 25 minutes. And then I'm gonna let both of the pizzas cool. We're gonna come back and we're gonna taste both of them, all right? So I'll meet you right back here in just a few minutes. All right, guys, so we are back. It's been about an hour and 45 minutes total for all of this to happen, but look at this. Look what you see here. This was the last one. I kind of timed it where they both would come out the oven about the same time. This was our last recipe that we did, and she looks beautiful. And this is our first recipe we did, and he doesn't look real pretty, but you know, sometimes ugly food is the best food, so we're not making any judgments just yet. I just want to give you a caveat here. Look, let's taste this one first. This is the Wolfe Pit's deep dish, what did he call it? Deep dish pizza meat pie. And this is the keto deep dish pizza by ketofocus.com. Okay, let's talk about this one. Look how much fat. I don't know if you can see this. I would say that's probably almost a cup, 3/4 of a cup of oil, right? There's no way to get around the fact that this had a lot of fat in it because it had a lot of meat in it. His video shows him taking it out of here as one solid piece and cutting it like a pie. There's absolutely no way this is coming out. And to be very honest with you, pouring the grease off was very difficult because obviously this thing wants to slide. There's so much sauce on it. And he said a 9-inch pan, which this is, and you better get a deep dish pan because I mean, that's full. So I used a turkey baster to sort of pull moisture out away from it because there's no way to pour it off. It was just going to slide out. So let's try to cut this and see what it comes out like. I'm just going to come across here. It's firmer than I thought, but the interior where all that sauce is, as you can see, it's going to slide the minute I cut it. It's going to slide out, but there's just no other way around it. He did it on a grill. So maybe that allows more airflow for it to sort of dry up and firm up. But it's been cooling for almost 15 minutes now, if not 20. So let's just see what it looks like. I'm gonna make a mess. There's no way of getting around it. But I do have a pie server. Okay, do you think we can get it out of here? It's gonna be the sacrificial slice for sure. It fell apart on me, of course. That bacon, the bacon's a little flabby, I can see, and all that sauce and goodness is in there. But look at that. That is beautiful. I don't know how he got his to be so solid, but as you can see, let me see if the camera can get it. Hide my face. Look at that. It's scalding hot, scorching hot, especially to have cooled as long as it has. So let's just get a bite of this and see what we think about it. Whew. It's gonna be hard to eat. Y'all, that is so good. I am not joking. Hold on. That has so much flavor, and there's not, I feel like a lot of the sauce didn't hang around, but y'all, I gotta keep going back. Hold on. Cut that bacon. Okay. Looks terrible. Tastes amazing. Okay. Let me clean my knife off here and see if we can get a nice, beautiful slice of our... Okay, that was Wolfe Pit. Good job, Wolfe Pit. Okay, let's see if we can get into this. And I want to cut this really nice because I need to have a thumbnail photo. So, and as much as that is good, that is not going to be a pretty thumbnail. So I need for this to look real good. So I'm just going to try to be careful about cutting it. Okay. Now let's come in here and get one like this. Yes, ma'am. It's a nice resistance there from the crust. Come loose there. Oh yeah. You see that? Cover my face up. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Well, that is just cute as a poot. Look at that. Not nearly as, quote, deep dish, but again, I got to say that she did say that you could put this in a 6.5 inch skillet. This is an 8 inch, and a 6.5 would have made it a lot thicker. So what does this taste like with that crust? Bready. Bready. Tastes like Pizza Hut pan pizza, kind of. Look at the bottom of that. Look at that crust. It's not frequent that both recipes in a battle knock it out of the park, but these are both fantastic, but for very, very different reasons. This one definitely tastes like a bready pizza crust, right? It's got the give and pull of pizza. I do wish there were a little more toppings on this. If I were to make this again, I'd probably maybe brown a little bit of sausage to go with the pepperoni, something to give it a little more depth without adding more carbs. Maybe some of the vegetables like we used in this recipe here, some onions, some bell pepper, just scant use. Okay, this thing, it looks like a fright. It looks a fright. It tastes fantastic. Bacon, good. Sausage, good. Ground round, good. Rayo's pizza sauce, good. Bunch cheese, good. I mean, there's no way to go wrong with this. Does it look like a pizza? It doesn't. And truth be told, I'm gonna have to serve this with a spoon to get all the goody out of it. And there's a lot to deal with the grease. And I might even say that this is more of a pizza flavored meatloaf. This is almost a pizza skillet. But dang, it is good. I am not joking, that is good. And I can see where a very small piece of this would fill you up because there is so much protein and so much fat. But if I were to do this again, I would probably use half the amount of sauce. Instead of the full 13-ounce jar, I'd use about 6 ounces of that. Not only would that make it less saucy, it would cut the carbs way down from the tomatoes. I also would probably, if I were doing this again, which I will be, I would probably lightly saute the onions, mushrooms, and bell pepper. Get some of that moisture out. So I would make a little bitty change to both of those, but dang, either one of these is good. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Low carb deep dish pizza. Can it be done? Doggone it, you better believe it. I would be glad to serve either one of these. Maybe not company for this one unless you feed them with the blindfold, because it ain't the prettiest pie on the block, but wow, was it good. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you joining me. Like I say all the time, these videos are a way for me to maintain my low carb way of eating. And looking in the end of that camera as often as I can helps keep me honest. So I appreciate that you have come along for the journey. If you are new here, please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. If you're already a subscriber, make sure you hit that bell button down below. It'll let you know just as soon as I release new videos. I also ask that if you like this and like what I'm doing here, give this video a thumbs up. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, but it lets YouTube know that this is a video they should probably share with other people. So that helps me, and I would really appreciate it. I also need to give another huge thank you to Green Chef for sponsoring this video. Green Chef, like I mentioned, is a fantastic meal delivery service with keto meals. The food is fantastic, the recipes are delicious, and it sort of gives you a new repertoire of things to try even when you're not cooking Green Chef meals. It builds beyond the box. So thank you, Green Chef. Be sure to use the link down below and the code down below that'll get you $90 off across your first 4 boxes and free shipping on that first box. So again, thank you, Green Chef. Now lastly, if you don't know what Patreon is, be sure to check out my Patreon account. Think of it as the tip jar for the internet. It allows people like you who enjoy what people like me do here on YouTube and give $1 or $2 a month and just sort of keep the train on the tracks, as it were. And you'll see the names that are scrolling here on the side. These are my true rock stars. Without them, none of this would be possible. So thank you to these guys. Really, really appreciate it. So, all right, I love you. I will see you very soon. We won't be doing pizza again for quite a while, but I'm going to leave a link to the playlist of all of these pizza rattle recipes so you can sort of try it out for yourself. So I love you guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.